Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Spare Parts Racing. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And it's just us this week. Man, I was
Condolences
really trying to catch you taking a sip as I started this.
Oh, you got to be quicker than that.
I guess, yeah, I guess so. You guys swallow quickly.
Yep.
So anyway, welcome back to another episode of Spare Parts Racing. We are going to be talking all things motorsports, starting mostly with F1, I think. Got a lot to talk about out of Singapore. Also, we're going to talk about some NASCAR news coming out of Charlotte and on to the round of 8. And, yeah, everything else in the world of motorsports that we find interesting. Steven, how you doing this week? I really don't want to give you this, but I do it every week, so I got to say, how you doing?
Well, honestly, I knew since this is the only question you asked, my first response was going to be, I can't decide if I should be mad at you and Eden for the fact that K-pop Demon Hunters is stuck in my head.
Fantastic.
But after last night, I feel fantastic. My baseball team's through.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, so and as you can see, I am rocking the Red Wings Tigers jersey. So I got to give good
I
vibes
like that
for
jersey.
Hockey tonight for my team and also for my baseball team to also hopefully get through tomorrow.
If you're like me, you just say, it's game 1 of 82. The hockey team can sacrifice for the baseball team.
They both won. Shut up. If
No,
both
but
your
going
teams can
into
win,
it-
both my
yes.
teams can win.
Okay, fair enough. Just going into it, my mindset was, I don't care if the Leafs win or lose tonight.
No, 100%. But this is also like the best Tigers thing I have, so
Yes, fair enough.
I'm not going to rock a, 10-year-old Tigers jersey at this point. And I have this.
Fair
That's
enough.
fun. Anyway, yeah, without further ado, Singapore?
Singapore. The shit show, well, it should have been a bigger shit show. It ended up being a shit show for the reasons off track, not on track.
Very true.
Fair enough.
No, I think so.
So, like, the fact that we had everybody finish this race was surprising. And some
Is
teams,
it?
I think, also got a little bit.
Why you say
It's
so?
usually
I don't think it's that surprising when, we're in an era
street
now where, everyone can finish a race, no problem.
Yes, but street track, something happens early, can easily knock somebody out, right?
I guess, yeah, that's fair.
The heat can cause something mechanical to break down. Engine overheats, fuel line breaks down.
I mean, did Isaac Hadjar have that problem?
Yeah, but he
did
was
he
able
have
to
an
keep
engine
running.
issue? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but he kept it running.
Because we're in an era where these cars are freaking bulletproof.
Yes. So, but yeah, the fact that it went off pretty much without a hitch,
Yeah.
mildly surprising. So,
Honestly, probably one of the most boring wins for George Russell.
yeah. And revenge from, what was it, 2 years ago when he just decided to wreck himself
Yeah. Yeah, when he put it into the wall.
with 5 laps left.
Yeah. So, yeah, Russell and Mercedes, I think, had a fantastic weekend. They kind of built on it over Friday, Saturday, put in a good qualifying, was P1, Antonelli was P5. Was he P5? Oh, sorry, he finished P5 in the race. Actually, I don't know what he was in the qualifying.
He was 4th in qualifying.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think really good showing for Mercedes. Obviously, the track was really well suited to the car. And honestly, George didn't have to do a whole lot. He just had to drive nice and easy on Sunday.
Yep.
Max
Fend
was
off
never a threat.
Verstappen. No. Just had to fend him off until those softs sort of fell away, right?
Yep.
And Lando Norris was a big help in that, in making him push through those softs extremely quickly in a defensive stance rather than I'm trying to make up some time here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you had Max second, Norris third. Man, great job for McLaren securing a Constructors' Championship. I'm sure that won't be relevant at all.
No. I was going to say, do we want to do the McLaren stuff first or get through everything else and leave it for the end?
I'll leave it to the end.
Yeah, I say leave it to the end too, because there's a lot of different ways this could go.
Yeah.
So
hopefully we don't forget about it like Oscar Piastri.
Yeah. Yeah. Rest of the grid, like, I don't know. Everybody sort of just held station.
Alonso was the race entertainment.
Yeah.
With just his radio messages.
Yes. Going from 10th to 7th.
Yeah. Good race. I think a couple standouts you got to definitely say. Ollie Behrman getting 9th was a good showing from him. Hamilton finishing 8th, buddy. Ugh.
Not the strongest.
No. Now again, don't know what his I don't want to say mental strength or anything, but like, you know, he did lose Roscoe, and you know, you don't know how you're going to bounce back maybe after something like that, and maybe you're not all there mentally, and you know, I will give Lewis a pass in this race.
Yeah, especially because there was probably a lot of time zones traveled over the course of the last week or so.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, in the end, Ferrari just didn't bring a good car. If you have to start lifting and coasting midway through the race, probably not a great sign that your car is dialed in to where it should be.
They haven't brought a good car all year.
Yeah, no, but at least those cars could, you know, mechanically get through the race most of the time.
To your point earlier, everyone finished the race. They obviously could mechanically get through the race. Jeez.
Hamilton cut 40 fucking corners on the last lap.
That's just efficient driving, man. I don't see the problem here.
He was driving the track like he was 5 years old playing an F1 video game.
Optimal line, Steven. Optimal lines.
Sure. Yeah.
If you don't want guys cutting the corners, just don't put pavement there.
This ain't NASCAR. Also, you try and explain that to an FIA steward.
Oh, God. Yeah, sir, why did you cut all those corners? Well, you shouldn't have paved it.
Yeah.
Sir, that's a penalty point and fine and everything else.
Yeah.
Any other
Ferrari
standouts? Or opposite or
definitely
negatives?
Definitely Carlos Sainz.
Oh, yeah.
Williams, surprisingly, what was it? The DRS infringement on both cars in qualifying to get DQ'd?
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Right?
What was the issue? Like, it just got held open or whatever?
Or I think so. Let me check. Or no, it was out of spec, I think.
Interesting. So I wonder if it's like you could like modify the DRS system so that instead of slamming down super fast, it may like take that extra little second. You know, give yourself a little more speed. Or again, if it's just too big of an opening, it gets. So anyway, it is definitely a weird penalty for Williams.
Yeah, so it was just out of spec because it was the rear wings of both cars failed DRS slot gap checks. So
Too big of a gap.
Yeah,
too much drag. No, not enough drag. Too much reduction. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot really to go off of in this race. It was kind of boring. I was hoping for a little more action.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and I think a lot of people were too. Like you had Lance Stroll. How many laps? Actually, where's the pit stop?
He took the softs. I'm pretty sure almost 40 laps.
He
went over half distance.
He went to lap 38 on soft tires.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen.
No.
I also saw a thing where, like, when it comes to the tires, the fastest tire of this race was the hard tire. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah. That's a bit of an issue.
Again, you can't blame Pirelli totally because Pirelli builds its tires to what Formula One and the FIA want them to build. My question is, what is the vision? What are you telling them to build for? Like, I don't
Build
get
three
it.
different compounds. Build
I
5
guess.
different compounds that we can use.
Have 5 compounds that are like the tiniest percentage difference from each other that do the exact same distance all around.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you shouldn't take softs almost half race distance. I don't understand it.
Yeah, they need to shave down like every softer compound.
At this point,
2 millimeters.
what I want to see out of F1 when it comes to tires is you have C5 and C1. That's it.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Because I'm so confused at what this is.
It would be interesting for them to go to like an IndyCar style. Yep, 2 compounds. That's all you get.
But yeah, just have 2 compounds, make it work, and I mean, they used to do that. But then people were like, it's too easy. It's just simple strategy. They go from one to the other. Okay. Just, again, have some kind of tire variation to make tire strategy. There is no strategy.
Yeah, you gotta. The reason it works in like an IndyCar or a NASCAR is because you have multiple stops where you can get multiple variations of optimal setup or optimal pit strategy. Every series has an optimal pit strategy at the start of the race. The difference is in IndyCar and NASCAR, you get cautions more frequently that change up the strategy.
Yeah, well, that's fair, but like,
F1 is just,
but even
F1 is just
cautions,
more like Survivor, where it's outlast.
No, but even with cautions, and like if you're looking at IndyCar, if you're looking at NASCAR, also the reason those series have also so many pit stops is because they also have to refuel.
Yes.
F1 doesn't have refueling. Okay, so the cars have to go the entire race without filling up. Fine. But on the flip side, either in F1, say you don't have to pit if you don't have to. So if someone wants to try to stretch a tire the entire race, fine, let them. If they blow it, they blow it. That'll piss off Pirelli because you don't want to see tires failing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're allowing teams to try to stretch the entire thing. You could be slower, but you could not make a pit stop. Or you can be aggressive and make it. I think that's the only option at this point because a soft tire did almost half race distance.
And that's not the first time we've seen a soft tire or a medium tire go well beyond where it should.
Exactly. Like it's
and
stupid.
Still be competitive. Yeah.
Stroll finished like 12th, 13th, like
13th. Yeah.
No, you shouldn't do that without a safety car taking the softest tire half distance. Like you should be last.
Yeah.
So that pisses me off. It pisses me off so much. It's like you might as well just leave me on the side while you go and celebrate with everyone else. Oh, I'm sorry. What could I possibly be referencing, Stephen?
Who knows? No idea. I was gonna say we can move on to that if we're done. Like I don't have a whole lot of notes. Like
I really don't.
There's the F1 troll account that posts all the memes, and at the very end they always post a this race was good, like that old was it graphic that they used to put behind the track of like the race winner, and it'll be like this race was good, this race was meh, this race was meh.
Even gifting it, like you were doing the gifs for it, there wasn't a whole lot.
No.
Nah.
No, honestly, I forgot I even did because That's how boring it was.
Yeah, exactly. So unfortunate. We move on. Talk about the McLaren shooting itself in the foot PR disaster, which is the biggest story out of this race, probably because the race actually was so boring.
Yeah.
Or I shouldn't say boring. Was less interesting than normal. And then McLaren decides to be dumb, and they celebrate winning the championship, the Constructors' Championship. Up there on the podium afterwards. Thankfully, they had a podium driver in Lando Norris. They could celebrate up there. And we just kind of forgot Oscar Piastri existed for a minute. Oscar was down.
Par for the course.
Oscar was down in the pen, getting his media duties in, and missed out on the fun. Now, to start back earlier in the race, the whole Oscar Piastri complaining on the radio that he had contact with Norris. Was Piastri right to say anything there? What was his complaints justified?
Here's the thing. You have to approach this from two different sort of thoughts. If you blank out the liveries on the car and it's just two random cars, you say that's a lap one racing incident. You cannot be surprised.
Yeah. That's just two cars touching.
That's two cars touching because it's lap one.
Was there any damage?
3. There was no damage. Norris did kind of decide that he was just going to play bumper cars.
I mean,
bouncing off Verstappen and then Piastri.
He did hit Verstappen. That was the damage that caused on his wing. It was a Verstappen contact. Nothing to do with the issue between them.
Yes, and you can kind of say, a little bit careless. He sort of played bumper cars, but again, it's lap one. This happens
tight
a lot.
Street circuit, yeah.
So, and it's one of the guys that's in the championship fight. It's not like this happened at the back of the field.
Exactly.
So there's that. At the same time, it's the papaya rules set that sort of vindicates Piastri and allows him to make a complaint. Because McLaren has shoehorned themselves into this situation where we can race hard, but we can't make contact. Well, he just made contact with me. That's the number one rule, is we can't make contact, and he made contact with me, so fix it.
Again.
No,
I agree. I agree 100% with what you're saying. My only message would have been, what would you want them to do, Oscar?
Switch it back.
But it wasn't like he gained a position on you. It just, you were on the outside and you just had to touch you.
He almost put me in the wall and I had to back out and give him the spot.
See, and that's where okay, I understand the complaint. Yeah. You got touched.
And you've switched us back because you guys screwed up on a slow pit stop and I had to switch back. Yes, it was partially strategy, but you guys screwed up.
Yeah.
But he has now screwed up and forced me.
But there's the favoritism.
And yes, but again, this is the problem: is that there's no gray. It's such a large gray zone for where the papaya rules are. It really shouldn't be papaya rules. It's just the gray zone. That's all it is. This is how it's going to work this week.
That's fair.
Just cuz. And that leaves room for the favoritism, whether it is truly there or not. I agree. I think it's there. You look at how certain things operate within this team. Yeah, it's 100% there.
Definitely.
And
this team does not fight for Piastri as much as it fights for Norris.
No.
You could see that back to Silverstone. You could see it Monza. If they have a way to help Norris over Piastri, but also not make themselves look like the bad guys, they do it.
Yes, 100%. And that doesn't always come back to help Piastri. Like, I think, what was it, Hungary last year?
Yep.
Where Norris tried to give him the sprint win in, what was it, Brazil? That
Oh
was more
yeah,
of Norris's call. That was more of Norris's call than
yeah. Norris like,
McLaren's.
I'll do this to say I gave you one. Nah,
Yeah.
doesn't work like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Piastri has a right to be upset about this because again, it's you forced yourself into into this weird gray zone and broken the number one rule again, whether the situation sort of allows it a little bit more. But you think back to other instances like Austria earlier this year. He locks up trying to make a DRS pass on Norris into turn 4, right? And Oscar, that's far too risky. Please don't do that.
Yep.
Back the fuck off. So why is Norris allowed to do this?
Or let's look at Canada when Norris drove at the back of Piastri.
Yeah, second time he's hit him this year. So yeah, I think Piastri has every right to be pissed off about this, and that's before you get to the off-track
think so,
shit.
but I feel like nothing's gonna happen, and nothing's gonna happen.
No,
you're whining for the sake of it to get it out there, but it's not gonna happen. Like
no,
you're
but
bitching
I
to
think
your team to make them know, hey, I don't like how this is.
Yeah,
I'm not happy. But if you don't, it's the thing also. If you don't vouch for yourself as a driver, the team will keep taking advantage of you.
Yes, and that's the other thing is that scoreboarding will not help this relationship. I don't think professionally or personally scoreboarding helps. At the same time,
I mean, that can also be said for any fucking relationship, but at the same time.
That's what I mean, professionally or personally. Whether this is I'm keeping this doing this professionally between myself and Norris, or I'm doing this personally between myself, Norris, and McLaren. So, but it's just going to keep building the animosity if you keep scoreboarding. So I think the best thing Piastri can do is just say, fuck it, I'm not helping him anymore. We are throwing out the scoreboard. No one owes anybody anything. We're racing one-on-one the rest of the way.
And that's a very slippery slope to a garage that is divided.
Exactly. But it's already divided. That's the problem. It's already divided in Piastri's mind.
But the issue is the divide comes at the top. There is definitely a Zach Brown favoritism for Norris versus Piastri.
Yeah.
So then you get McLaren's thing at the end where they have the whole celebration up there with Norris, not Piastri, and that was a mess up. But because I don't know if you saw anything about that, but it wasn't McLaren's fault. I will actually defend McLaren on this.
Yes and no. Like the FIA or F1 did want them to have their celebration.
It was meant for the team.
It was meant for the team without the drivers.
Yeah.
But apparently, because Norris was on the podium, he was walking out, and as McLaren was walking, the rest of the team was walking in. They're like, "Well, he's one of our drivers. We're dragging him back up here."
Yeah.
How no one says, "Oh, where's Oscar? We need him up here as well. Let's wait for Oscar." That was the shocking and also maybe telling part.
Yeah, as a team that is so PR oriented.
Yes, it's a bad stumble when you really didn't need to.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how that happened. I feel bad for two people here. One is obviously Oscar, because when he turned around in the media pen while he was waiting his turn, while it was like Leclerc or Alonso was doing their thing in front of him, and he saw the celebration going on, and I assume saw Lando up there, that had to sting, especially after the bullshit from lap 1. I also feel bad for his PR person or his PR handler.
Yeah, because she got cut.
He got cut out too.
It's a she?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't want to assume. So anyway, whoever is PR.
No, I think if you find the video, it's
okay. Yeah, that is true. It's like, hey, how come you're also not with the team?
Yeah, it's like, wow, we're just completely cut out of this. Okay, cool.
But are those PR people always employed by the team, or are they also employed by the driver?
No, considering they're wearing.
No, you can. Well, yeah,
team
but
stuff.
If you remember, what was it, Angela with Lewis back in the day? She was employed by Lewis, but wore team kit.
Yeah, I think
So-
I think it's a team person.
My absolute most favorite thing to come out of this, though, because, like, yeah, McLaren screwed up, and it was a mistake to, I think, do what they did.
Yeah.
But the best thing is, the internet jumped down the throats. We're like, guys, what the hell? Like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Did you see their post, like, 2 days ago?
Which one was that?
The one of just, like, Oscar Piastri. They
Oh,
just made, like,
yes.
an Oscar Piastri post, and, like, the top comment is, like, damage control button.
Yes.
Like, oh my God. Like, F1 fans are not stupid. They really aren't.
Yeah.
Like, they understand exactly what's going on, exactly how these teams work. Like, guys, you could just say, hey, we screwed up. We didn't mean for this to happen.
Yeah.
And also the fact that, you know, because I feel like if you're doing PR damage control here, Steven, what would you ask your drivers to do? Would you ask them to make a statement or something? Be like, hey, I understand the team did that. It's actually not this big deal, yada, yada. Would that be hard to do? To just
It
like
wouldn't.
let it blow over?
I wouldn't, but I almost feel like that would be like, well, they're forcing him to say it's okay. They're forcing him to say everything's okay.
Well, what if they asked him to do something like that and he said no?
Yeah, that's the thing. You can spin
The
this
fact
so
that
many
there
ways.
is nothing that's kind of said and it just seems like, you know, McLaren's trying to make up for it.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Also, yeah, it was Oscar and his, I assume, female handler that were. I'm just watching the video. You can like see.
You can see the moment his heart breaks.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah. Anyway, I wish
And then-
Oscar Piastri had the luck this year.
Yeah. Well, and then, you know, we skipped over a step here, which was I don't know if this was the F1 framing, but Zach saying congratulations to Oscar and Oscar just saying, unplug the radio. Don't need to listen to that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if that's actually true or not. I did see that. I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like, if that was the actual time of that or whatnot, if we just edited that way. So,
yeah.
I take almost everything I see there nowadays with a grain of salt. Especially when
Yes.
people are already pissed off at McLaren. I'm like, are we just trying to, you know, fan the flames here?
Yeah. I mean, that was on the broadcast, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Was that they were like, did he just disconnect? He might have. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not very happy camper right now, so I don't blame him. So,
Ooh, you lost
but-
3 points on your rival. Ooh.
yeah.
Or he gave
But
3
so did-
points on you. Whoop-de-doo.
But so are you in the camp of screw it, it's over, I'm not doing team orders the rest of the way, or do you think
No.
the papaya rules continue?
If
This is
I'm
just a
Piastri, and
layup.
this is what I said following the Monza thing, he should continue doing everything for the team. And when the team continues to try to fuck him, and yet he still wins the championship, he can look at them being like, I am your guy. You have to back me because I am the better driver.
Yeah.
So that's how I think he should approach it. Well, that's how I would approach it if I was Piastri.
You're not going full burnt bridge. Fuck you guys, I'm not following any orders for the next 6 races.
No. I would say fine. I'll continue to be your good little soldier.
Yeah.
And just prove I'm still better. Because he's done that since the very first race of the year, since all the way back in Australia, when he wasn't allowed to pass.
Yeah. God, you just realize how long it's been going on for.
Yeah, literally, it's been the whole year. Piastri is fighting with a hand tied behind his back and still winning.
Yeah. And like, at least at the end of last year, it kind of made sense for a little bit because Norris was still mathematically in the championship fight for the
Yes.
drivers. It made sense. It made sense. Now, not so much.
Yeah, they
It should
got
be the
6
other
races
way.
left. We got 6 races left, and what's the standings now? How many points?
So
back
right
is he?
now you have Piastri at 336 points. Norris is 22 behind him.
If you say
Verstappen-
Max, I do not care. He is not even close to winning this championship.
No, but Verstappen is 63 points back. That is where
Fine.
it currently is. Like George, people saying George has a chance now that he went. No, he's 100 points back, so he'd have to leapfrog 2 guys just to get to Piastri. That's not happening.
No.
I don't care how good that Mercedes looks. I saw one really delusional Ferrari fan somehow mathematically get Charles to first, and I think it requires both McLarens to crash out and Charles to sweep.
I think I hear Taylor in the distance chanting about that.
Probably.
That she's trying to manifest it.
Some satanic ritual. That's
You know
what it's gonna take. It's gonna take some strong ass devil magic to get to that point.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, like I still think this is Piastri's championship to lose.
Yep.
I will be curious to see in the next 6 races if McLaren does actually try to do anything to hinder Piastri. That's the stuff to watch for. Watch for qualifying. Watch where they send them out. Watch what strategy they employ for the drivers. Like, if there's little things going on that they clearly are trying to get Norris to catch Piastri, then that's shenanigans. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of fans should call out McLaren for that.
Well, I mean, they already are, and I think regardless of what happened, part of the reason I'm somewhat in the camp of fuck this, I don't need to do this anymore. I may not get a better chance than this to win a world championship. Regulations change next year. McLaren is going to slightly be on the back foot in terms of their development with wind tunnel time by winning this year's championship. Here's how I do this if I'm Piastri. I think you have to sort of straddle the line of your idea of I will be a good little soldier, maintain the relationship, and fuck you, I'm not listening. To get through this year, get through next year, see who your contenders are, and then say, you guys, everybody was aware of what was going on. Who wants me?
Yeah.
How old's Piastri going to be in 2 years?
27?
He's going to be 26.
Holy fuck!
Yeah, he's only 24 right now.
God damn it.
So, yeah, I'm a 26-year-old driver who has controlled a championship, got fucked by my own team to even make it close.
Yeah.
Who's got the best car out there and who wants to give me a seat? Ferrari, did you figure your shit out and Hamilton's too old and not doing anything? Cool, give me a seat. Aston Martin, did you take Adrian Newey and he's a fucking wizard again and has made Aston Martin the best car? Alonso's too old or Stroll just sucks? Give me a seat.
You're going to say Stroll sucks after he wins back-to-back championships? Come on.
That would be that'd be hilarious.
I'm just saying he's the better Aston Martin driver this year, so, you know.
Not anymore, he isn't.
Fuck! Finally? Oh, man.
Yep. Alonso is up by, I think, 4 points.
Ah, damn it, Lance. Get back in there. Let me down, kid. You're letting me down.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, like Piastri, I've got a 2-year plan to be here. After that, so yeah, the only way that backfires is if McLaren figures it out and is the best team coming out of 2026.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you have a chance where that may not be the case. Mercedes has now shown that they are figuring their shit out. Red Bull under Laurent Mekies completely different.
Yeah, but he even said this week, he's like, do not give any credit to me. Like, I have not actually done anything, which is probably pretty humble of him to say. Like, listen, the team is figuring it out together, which is probably the best way you could say that once you've come into that new job.
Yes. Well, okay. So, you know what? Even if we don't want to give them credit, they are not going to be in the shit show situation where you have your top technical director leave, you have your team principal in a bunch of off-track issues and drawing a bunch of attention away, it will be a different team going into the off season this year, and a different mentality at the team. So
that is very true.
Like everybody's on even footing. Like, and who's to say like Ford somehow doesn't knock it out of the water? Cadillac doesn't knock it out. Doesn't come in and start off with a bang. Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
I thought you were the baseball mind. Is all I'm saying.
Knock it out of the park. Yeah, I don't know. I'm playing the Battleship game too. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Anywho,
sounds like a miss.
I think, boo. I think, I think Piastri, you have to have like a 2-year plan sort of approach to this and be cautiously friendly.
Yeah, it's fair. I think it's also interesting how much I feel like F1 people have turned against Norris in the last few years.
Well, he's not the like bubbly kid anymore.
He just comes off as a dick.
Yeah. Like a bunch of people with this situation were like, imagine it was reversed. Piastri's up the inside after not having a great qualifying. Bumps Lando out of the way. How quickly is he on the radio saying, "What the fuck is that? Papaya rules. Switch us back now."
Yeah, 100%. No, yeah, like he'd be doing the same thing. But also, like I said, you have to, as a driver, vouch for yourself too.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't want to, and that's the thing. I think this is the first time after a tough Baku race where we've seen Piastri like kind of frazzled, because otherwise he's been like the cool, calm, collected guy. And this was the reason he was better than, everybody thinks he's better than Lando. He doesn't lose it with his emotions. He stays in control. He gets the car across the line and doesn't get frazzled.
Yeah, but right? Arguably he didn't get frazzled. He was irritated, but he still finished fourth. Like, had he had been mad and like drove angry and wrecked himself, I think it's a different conversation here. But no, he is still the same calm, cool, and collected guy. Drives it out, gets it across the line. Everyone's happy. Move on.
Had a slow stop and still was only like 3 seconds back. And you can partially say, well, Lando was stuck behind Max, the dirty air, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But at the same time, he had it.
Again, Norris
McLaren doesn't.
Or Lando. Piastri proves that's just what he does. He is the better driver.
Yep. And that's why he's still in contention here, barring McLaren purposely, I think, throwing some like spikes under his car or filling the engine with, I don't know, pineapple juice.
I'll be curious on bad pit stops going forward. Anything that happens the rest of the year, I'm going to be like, was that?
Yeah. Well, Norris has been the one getting the bad stops the last 5 races when it's happened.
Yeah.
Right? Piastri, they've nailed the stops.
But again, just as we go into the last few races of the season, I'll be curious to any shenanigans McLaren throws in there with favoritism.
Yes, 100%.
Moral of the story is don't forget your fucking driver and no one gets angry.
Yeah.
Again, hadn't Piastri been up there, we're not talking about this.
No.
Like, this is not a conversation about McLaren favoritism. This is simply just a thing that happened. Oh, look, they had a fun celebration. But because you did stupid shit, we talk about it.
It doesn't even matter that they did their pit lane celebration. Everybody was happy. Champagne was being sprayed by both drivers.
Yeah.
It is now he clearly disconnected his radio because he didn't want to hear whatever Zach Brown had to say because he's pissed off.
Yeah.
And then he's even more pissed off afterwards with having to turn around and watch his entire team celebrate. That happened last night with the Blue Jays. And you know what they did? They retook the photo by waiting for 5 seconds. You couldn't go get someone down to the media pen and say, hey, you two, by the way,
that's
go.
That's like a 5-minute traverse in a track. You know that, right?
To be fair, yes.
Yeah.
At the same time, someone wasn't like, well, Lando's already here. We should go get Oscar, and we can wait for 5 minutes.
Or just kick the other one out. Like, you know what I mean? Just be like, or like, just be like, hey, this is for the team. Norris, go do your media duty like you're supposed to do. But anyway, I'm done beating this dead horse. Let's move on.
Yes, it'll. Yeah, we'll hope. Well,
we'll talk more about this for sure. I
was gonna say, depending on what happens, but realistically, yes, we are going to talk about this at least 3 times over the next 6 races.
Exactly. So anyway, moving on to another unsuspecting result of the weekend, but also a lot of stuff to talk about coming out of Charlotte and the Roval race in NASCAR. Unsurprisingly, SVG wins.
Pretty sure we said we can't take him in our guesses of who's going to win because it's going to happen.
Yes. And he won. And easy money. Easy money to bet on.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts. He sweeps the road courses for the season. Great job, SVG, this year in NASCAR. Not much else to say. Great job. No. You won those.
You won 5 straight on the road courses.
I think, pretty sure it's a record. So,
probably.
Yeah. So fine.
Fantastic. If in doubt, he'll break it. If it's not a record, he either he tied it and he'll break it next race.
Yes. Then we're looking at the NASCAR playoff picture out of this because, did you notice anything of who has made it and who has not made it of these NASCAR playoffs?
So you had so you have Denny, Blaney, Larson, Byron, Bell, Elliott, Briscoe, Logano. And eliminated were Chastain, Bubba, Reddick, and Cindric.
Yep. Every single person who has been eliminated was the bottom 4 of that in the points to start that round.
Interesting.
No one has actually fought their way in. It's just been bottom 4, knocked out. Bottom 4, knocked out.
Interesting. I did not realize that.
There have been chances where guys could have been bumped out. We look at what we talked about with Denny Hamlin. This race also had, what was it? It was Logano come to the line, and who was he fighting?
Chastain.
Chastain, yeah. And they... basically Chastain sending himself and spinning gets himself knocked out. Hamlin complaining that he can't be told about the radio, because Hamlin said, well, had I known, I wouldn't have let Logano in because I don't want to face him, basically is what he said.
Yeah.
Which, you dumbass, you could have done that last week if you just let your own car win.
Yep.
But now him saying that brought a lot of attention to the race fixing stuff again.
Yep.
And like team orders and manufacturer orders and in this race also there was a lot of coded messages of, hey, don't pass a guy, don't do this. Basically the coded message was, hey, save your tires. Seemed to be with 2 laps to go, guys having to run on a guy, hey, save your tires was the message, which meant do not pass the guy in front of you. So we're still at this point where basically they're trying to manufacture, pun sort of also intended there, because the manufacturer's doing it.
Yes.
Who gets it? And yeah, there's a very simple solution for this actually.
What's that?
The final round of every single round of the playoffs, if the playoffs are going to continue, we'll talk about that later, should be a intermediate track.
Okay.
You can't not pass a guy or let off on an intermediate track. Someone might go by you.
Yeah.
And then he's going to go by that guy.
Just make it all
It's
big
way
ovals.
more easier to influence the race and the last round of these playoff rounds and who gets through and who doesn't on short tracks and on road courses.
Yep.
If they just made them the intermediates, would be fine. But we can't.
Interesting. No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I don't have a whole lot of the race to talk about really.
No,
Yeah,
like this
guys
was
made
the
it, yada yada.
and
SVG
I don't know.
won.
The Roval was sort of somewhat guessable. You had some good road racers up at the top. You can say you can really say is, I mean, not really surprised Chastain didn't make it. He shot himself in the foot like 40 times. He should have made this easily.
Yes.
But there was it the stage 1 caution, drives through the left-hand turn out of pit lane, drops a ton of spots. What else was there? He took a speeding penalty where he was slamming the wheel because he was pissed off because he
Made a mistake.
Yep. Raced his way back up both times. Like, I don't know. There was, I think, I watched one review where it was like Suarez apparently had a chance to give him a playoff point by driving hard at Logano.
Mm-hmm.
And no one told him that, hey, you want to help a teammate out? Get past this guy. Well, my tires so that way I can win. It doesn't matter. You're out of the playoffs. Shut up.
But again, that's the thing, right? Like, they didn't want guys manipulating it. They didn't want the whole, hey, do this to help a guy. They were really trying to limit what information was given to the drivers. And to be honest, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to do that. Again, they had the coded messages, but it's fine to just be like, hey, maybe you don't do that. So, I'm not totally mad that teams were not allowed to really do that. But I understand the frustration of the drivers.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
So,
but yeah, other than that, like not a huge amount of surprises. Like again, you had SVG, Larson, Bell, Busher, McDowell, Priest, Suarez, Elliott, Allmendinger, Reddick as your top 10.
yeah.
We're on to the final 8.
Yeah. And I'm going to predict that it's going to continue the same. And the bottom 4 are the guys who are not going to make it to the finals just because.
So you think Bell, Elliott, Briscoe, Logano are out?
Yes.
Okay. Yep, that's fair. I think if anything, Bell could find a way in. Logano's basically in must-win territory at 24 points out, so.
Yep.
And I saw some people were like, with regards to the Hamlin not realizing and saying, oh, well, I would have let Chastain in. Yeah, you probably would have. Logano is not, like, these are not his greatest tracks coming up.
No.
He's not a strong
It'll be
Vegas
hilarious if he can win, but I don't like.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's 2 things. One, much like ball and stick sports, you do not want to let someone get off the mat multiple times. And that's kind of what happened because Logano hasn't won his way into another round. He's just sort of been not the worst every single round.
Yeah.
Right? But if you remember Vegas last year, yes, he won that. It took overtime and stretching the fuel about as far as it was 130 laps that he stretched that final run. Something like that. It was a long ass run that he stretched it to and won. I don't think he's got a great track record at Talladega. And then Martinsville, that should be a Toyota.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't want to let a guy off the mat. I don't think he's like a super heavy threat though, necessarily. So congrats, Logano, on winning this next race in Vegas again somehow.
It's not. Vegas is going to be Larson for sure.
Probably.
It's like his best track.
Yeah.
So, one thing I did want to talk about.
Yep.
Did you see NASCAR President Steve O'Donnell on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s podcast?
Yeah, didn't catch the full podcast. I did catch little bits and pieces here and there.
Obviously, the big news of that is saying they're going to go to more power.
For the
And he
1.5 in road courses.
Well, he said they are listening to the fans and they want to do more power. He said they're going to start there. There's a chance they could do more power all around, which I actually really think the super speedways need more power because the underpowered trains are not fun. I refuse to say that's fun racing. But yeah, so they're going to more power, which is going to be great. It's going to be short tracks, going to be more fun. Some of the other, like, mile and a halves could also be more fun with some more power.
Yeah, so to clarify, it's everything under 1.5 miles and all the road courses are getting additional power.
Yes. Which is interesting because he said one time, he said mile and a halves and under. And then he said everything under a mile and a half.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it might actually be mile and a halves. Like, get those intermediate courses, all those. They could use the power. And I think that'd be more entertaining for the fans.
Yep.
So,
it's all about the fans.
But, like, we just talked about that the other week of saying, like, why do these series not listen to the fans? They're not there because they're not a fan because they just like what you do. Fans are like, they're such a participant in motorsports that, like, you should give them what they want.
Yeah.
So, great thing for NASCAR. The other interesting thing they talked about was the future of the playoffs and what next year's playoffs is going to be. Or, sorry, I shouldn't say that. How they're going to decide the championship the next year is what they said. Now, there's a lot of inferring and reading between the lines here. But I want to make the claim. I don't want the claim. I want to make the bet they're going to go full season points.
Starting next year?
Yes.
Yeah. Like I said last week, I think the only pushback they're going to really get is Miami being like, what the fuck? We finally get it as we get the finale and you take it from us. This was supposed to be like super easy advertising. We get a big race regardless of whether Kyle Larson or but for them it's we get super easy advertising of one of 4 drivers is going to be a champion. Now it might be, well, someone's already won it with 2 races to go because Byron's strung off 7 ripped off 7 wins in a row or something like that.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
But again, you think someone who wins 7, 8, 10 times in a season shouldn't be able to be a champion?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
But that's an argument they even said. He said that, so Stephen O'Donnell said in his interview with Junior, like, hey, I've had a conversation with a guy like Chris Bell, and Chris Bell says, like, hey, what if a guy has like 8, 10 wins in a year and can just not win a championship?
Yeah.
You don't want the next Chris Bell who's growing up to basically see that and think, wow, that's awful. How do you be a star?
That's not what I'm. Yeah, and again, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the only people that are gonna push back are again those that are working at Miami.
But again, it's still owned by NASCAR, so NASCAR doesn't care.
Yeah.
So they're fine to have it wherever, but if it means they have a better championship, and like to be fair, none of this is confirmed. They're not saying anything. I'm just guessing by what they didn't say, and like
Fair
things
enough.
they didn't say is like, hey, we want to have this championship. We're not going to announce what the new championship format is until at the end of this year because we don't want to like take anything away from this year's champion. Weird you would say that if you were just tweaking playoff format as one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're getting rid of playoffs altogether, you don't want to say, hey, we're not doing playoffs, so we still want this year to count. Little weird.
Yep. Definitely a little weird.
And also, they know, both of them know what the next season's playoffs, because they said they both were in the committee. So they know what the decision was. And so there was that comment of like, oh, we don't want to announce it yet. And also talking of like, hey, if someone gets however many wins, it's not fair if they can't be a champion.
So sorry, you're saying both Dale and O'Donnell know what's going to happen. They're just not saying it?
Yes.
So they're the Kelsey brothers, and we're all Taylor Swift, knowing that he's gonna
100%.
pop the question.
Exactly.
and
Well, like,
oh, it's my boyfriend.
if you listen to their interview, yeah, because they said, oh yeah, we've been on the committees, and they're talking about like what they're doing. They've made a decision. It's clear they've made a decision of what they're doing.
Yeah, Mark Martin has won the argument. He got what he wanted.
Yes. And the whole reason, like, oh, we just want like, input from all the like drivers and stuff, yada yada. You don't think the drivers don't want to feel like they can get fucked out of a championship?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's happy with the idea of like, yeah, I could luck into a championship, but no one ever wants to feel like one's taken away.
Exactly. Joey Logano already gets fucking ripped for his championships.
Yeah, you think that annoys him?
100%. It'll annoy him even more when everybody's like, "Yeah, see, it's legitimate." No one thinks this era of championships is as good. You're just counting for you have one championship because we'll say we're going to give you one where maybe you were the best.
That was the one thing also that they said in the interview where he were talking like, okay, we don't want to like disparage like the champion this year because that was the rules they ran under. Mm-hmm. Interesting that like you mean you're going to tweak the rules? You're tweaking the rules.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think they were looking at tweaking it regardless because you look at the playoff numbers. The playoff numbers are not good in terms of TV numbers.
No. Like, what was the Roval number?
Good question. I'm going to pull that up.
Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure it wasn't good either.
I have no reason
to begin. They've been tanking in the numbers, and like they're blaming football things. And I think it was actually like last week, Dale Earnhardt Jr. again went on and said like, hey, you can't blame football. We used to compete with them. Yeah, that's not where the audience is going.
1.54 was the number.
Jesus.
Beat out, and sadly, Adam didn't put if it was.
That ain't good still. Like, you're getting sub 2 million in your playoffs. Could you imagine if any other, like, series or, like, sport was getting, like, that number in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Like, not to sound mean to NASCAR and also for us because, we're fans, but, like, that's hockey numbers. That's not good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they definitely need to make a change there. And I think adding power, great job. Going to the 36 race championship also, I think, will make people really happy. And I think you might get some more fun storylines of guys racing throughout the year and being actual rivals. Oh yeah, that was another thing they mentioned was they didn't want the Daytona 500 to have to talk about playoffs. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. You want your races to stand alone. You don't want them connected to this thing at the end.
Yeah.
Because if you're saying every race is just a stepping stone to the playoffs, why do I watch that?
Yep. You can develop more storylines with a full season.
100%.
And have them build on each other. Like, because right now, why the fuck do I care about Ty Gibbs being 15th? Well, in a full season championship, I might care that he's 15th in climbing because to start the year, he was probably sitting around 30th.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a driver that everybody was writing off for the first half of the season. He's actually progressed to become somewhat decent, and he's still only 23 or 24 years old, so let's give him a chance. Also, there was no direct comparison because this year was on USA Network and last year was on NBC.
That's fair.
So they don't have the numbers to compare.
Or let's go like a flip thing. Let's say my favorite driver is Joey Logano. Yours is Tyler Reddick. Well, we can now fight throughout an entire year of who's better.
Yep.
You can get more fan interaction and have fans support drivers again. Like if you look at how big drivers were at the early 2000s and like late 90s era. Yeah. You had that. You had fans always interacting and like imagine social media back then, how hectic it would be during like the Gordon Earnhardt days. Nuts.
Oh God. Full out wars.
And there was a lot of talk in that interview of like, oh, kind of like, you know, I would say a tradition, but like, oh yeah, going back to like finding yourself and stuff like that. Like, I think there's a lot of signals there. NASCAR is going back to 36 points, and I think if they do that, I will lose my mind. I'll be so happy.
Yeah, if they do that, add extra points into the
Race wins.
onto the top. I was gonna say just the top of the standings. So that way, like they do that, they get rid of the cautions, and then go back to a 36 race championship. You have like met all of the criteria, I think, for a majority of fans in how to make this a much more interesting thing. That with already adding the horsepower.
Yeah.
So. But I guess we can't find out for another 5 fucking weeks at least.
Oh, it's gonna be so much fun, and I feel like there's gonna drop little breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
My question is: has Mark Martin actually tweeted anything more? Because like, here's the thing: if he has shut up about it, I'm kind of thinking maybe he won.
He reposted something from 9 hours ago. Oh, so he did quote tweet, but it was Dale Jr.'s take on the chaotic ending at the Roval.
Yes, with everyone basically not knowing where to finish.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he'll really just zip it and just go to like eat and just go straight to retweeting.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Anyway, anything else to talk about?
I mean, we can hit a couple small things quickly.
You said you had a bunch, so let's go through them.
Yep. I guess sticking with NASCAR, did you see the NASCAR iRacing game is coming out?
Yep.
Did you see that they did the some of the stat reveals?
No.
So the ball and stick sports, for all their games, they put player cards up and it's like, guess your rating, or guess who this is. NASCAR went with the guess who this is. They blacked out the face and some of the stats. The stats being like, what's your tire save, intermediates, super speedways, road courses, all that stuff, and you got rated 1 to 100. I think they had like Blaney, Gregson, Cindric, a couple other drivers come in and do the guessing. Some of them guessed themselves. Some were guessing. You guessed some others. William Byron was rated at 100 at the top of this.
That's aggressive.
A little bit.
You should have legacy drivers rated like 100, like a Gordon, like an Earnhardt, stuff like that. That's interesting choice.
Yeah, like Hocevar. What was Hocevar at? But you had a whole bunch of guesses.
Yeah.
They did Noah Gragson so dirty.
Why?
During this, they brought his card out. It was a 71, and Noah Gregson's first thought or first words were, "Man, this guy is ass."
That is so bad. That's hilarious. I love that they did that. That's great.
Yeah, it was good content. It was very a good steal from the ball and stick sports, because you had guys being like, yeah, I'd say I'd put myself about there. Nah, this is way too high. Nah, this is way too low. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's fair.
So it was a fun way to start. And I think people like hosts of our did Time Majeski do it? I think they had a couple drivers doing like previews of the game. So looks all right so far. So what is the cat underneath the desk?
Yeah, he's being annoying.
Nice.
So he sits.
So there was that. Only other thing I really had was, did you catch any of the F1 Academy results?
Oh, yes, I did see Leah Block won.
Leah Block got her first win, which I thought was
good
nice.
for her.
So
she really is a driver I just feel like a lot of people root for just because her dad. Now that again, she's not talented and can do it her own. But it's also like Ken Block was so fucking good in cars, and you just wanted to see. I guess his child also do very well in cars. So,
yeah, So that was a nice little happy story from
Yeah,
Singapore.
that was. Yeah, that was a good one.
Considering we spent Singapore just saying McLaren, no, fucking hate each other. This race sucked.
Yes.
So.
Anything else? Is that all? That's all we got?
No, I think we can save anything else for next week.
That's fair. Anyway.
This game to start watching.
Yes. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to this week's episode. We will be back next week to talk all things motorsports again and whatever else happens. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at sparepartsracing. That's sparepartsracing, and on TikTok at sparepartspod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.